What's going on, everybody? We're back with some more Stoneblock for what is hopefully the finale of this three-part thing that we got going on with our cows and chickens. So as a quick little recap, in case you fell asleep or don't really remember, because we've all suffered extensive Dane damage, the cows have all been set up currently, so they all have storage units on top of them, right? In terms of how all this is currently set up, there is currently 12 on this particular plate, right? So if you're looking at all the fluid containment systems, there's 12. On this one, we're looking at, I believe, 18. Yeah, and then 18 and then 12 again. So just bear those numbers in mind, sort of. It will become sort of an important thing. And then whenever it comes to this, each of these plates, and I mean each of these little subsections here, is going to be 8 total storage units. And then the middle, of course, is going to be its own thing, which is 7, which also will be kind of an important thing for us to keep in mind. So anywho, that is a recap. Let's go ahead and hop into things. I'm actually going to start this off with a little bit of an explanation about what the primary thing that we're going to be doing is to set up our AE2 connections stuff, because it's not super duper clear. So I'll be going over that. This should be, if you have zero clue, if you sit here and go, man, AE2 is just incredibly confusing, I don't care to learn all this stuff about AE2, I just want to see how this works. I'm going to give you that version of an explanation right now as to how you can make multiple networks. So let's say that, because the controllers, right, they have different rules. One of the rules I'm going to use, I guess I could just use controller blocks. Give me 1 second. So controller blocks have a number of rules, and this is why it might be useful, in that you can't have them in every kind of conceivable shape possible. It has to abide by certain kinds of design ideas and such. So you can't have it, for example, be more than 7 long in any direction. So let me go ahead and we'll just plop it down here or something. And then we'll throw down a flex point so it has power. Okay, so reasons why you may want to do this. Number 1, you're like, oh, I'm going to keep on going along and I have things. Maybe you're not wiring super efficiently or whatever. And then you suddenly go, oh no, what's going on here? It's because your controller is too long, right? This is 8 long probably. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. But if you go down to 7, works like a charm. Rule number 2, you cannot have more than, I guess, at any of the vertices that you have, so any of these edges that you have, the corners, you cannot have more than 3 ways out, or 3 lines connecting into it. So for example, this will work and I can make that go 7 up. That will work, I can make that go 7 out. Now granted, I understand that, well, here, I'll knock this one out just so you guys can get a better idea of this. So if I were to knock these 2 out, right, I should have plenty of room to put another one in, but if I do that, it worked! Oh, right, because it's a single line. So if I do this, that'll make more sense. So if I do this, everything dies, because it can't have more than 3. So, kind of an important part, kind of a neato thing. You can, of course, mess around with this. I'm sure you could come to something that makes some degree of sense for you. But for our cases, these things can be sort of restrictive. The other thing could just be that you built AE2 systems separately. Very much possibility. So, those are some of the reasons why the controllers themselves might be the cause of a problem for you. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at this system right here. Something very simple. So if you look into these, we have obviously 2 sets of drives. We're going to call this our hub. We're going to call this our sub, the hub sub, the sub hub. But the hub sub is going to be the relationship that's really important. Now the way this will work is that currently you see there's nothing in here. Now I'm going to go ahead and throw in, let's see, I'm going to throw in an energy acceptor. Maybe, possibly. Okay, there we go. Energy acceptor. You can see that it's currently sitting on one of the drives here, right? If I open this, you'll notice that's not here. That's because this is a sub-network of this network, right? So it doesn't particularly matter that's connected to a hub, so to speak, but this is going to allow it so this will not send its contents to here, but this will send its contents to here. Right? So it's kind of a neat thing where you can, so if I make these sub-networks, if I connect this through a sub-network, it will show all the stuff from the chickens that we can pull, but if I look at the chicken network, it will only show things related to chickens. So kind of a neat thing. And of course, just as like kind of proof, there's our little item sitting in the drive. So that's the way that works. Now, all this requires is for you to get an ME storage bus, and this is going to be on the hub side, and then you're going to put that up and then put a storage bus on this side, because this is all going to be looked at as a storage. It's not going to interact with anything. And then this side is going to be the interface side, and this is going to actually interact with that. So just remember, the hub side, storage bus. Other side, interface, right? So sub, interface, bus, hub. All you got to remember. If you do that, you should be able to make these two connect and communicate, and the controllers will also communicate. Oh, and as a side note, I'm not going to actually demonstrate this, but if you were to do something like this, by the way, that will also not work if you have this on just the same network, because you can't interrupt. You can't have more than one presence of controller on any specific network. So kind of a little fun tidbit here. So anywho, let me go ahead and rip this down, and let's get into the thick of things today. We're actually not going to start off with this part yet. This part we're actually, let's start off with this part today. Let's go ahead and do that, because this will be something that I'm kind of curious to see how this will go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start off by laying down the wiring, right, for this. And again, I am not some like super expert on these things, so don't be like, oh wow, Choco, are you actually going to be able to like explain everything like super in depth and understand like the mysteries of all the A2 universe and all this other stuff? No, my brain is not that brainy. But what I will hopefully be able to do is at least get you guys started in the right direction if you're looking at this as more of like a guide thing, and in general, hopefully just make some sense of the madness that is this stuff. All right, so there we go. We got our 7 right there. And actually, what I need to do is I need to rip that feral flare. That's going to make a whole lot of darkness. All right, so I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put an energy acceptor on top, and then we're going to put our controller here. Okay, cool. Now we have power flowing through. Okay, so with this now, we have ourselves a base cable, but that's not going to be good enough for what we need. We need to actually make sure that we have more stuff ready to go. Again, each of these represents 8, right? So a dense cable can hold 32 channels, and I believe a Fluix, like a regular old cable, like can hold 8. I think that's correct. So we're going to go ahead and operate under that assumption, which I'm hoping is correct. So it should be something a little like this. So, and also each face of a controller can hold up to 32 channels anyways. So let me go ahead and put this dense cable down. Alrighty. And then we're going to go ahead and put this dense cable out here. It's a little bit of chop. It's not horrifically bad or anything, but I am getting a little bit of chop. Something for me to keep in mind as we go forward. All right. Now, of course, if you would like to, you can always do the smart thing and organize your stuff by actually properly setting up your area and then using like different colored cables. Different colored cables will not like interact with each other specifically unless you want them to, I guess. But you can use that to organize your cable management a little bit more if you would so desire. All right, so we have all this there, but we don't have the ability to look into those networks yet. So we're gonna whip out some storage buses. And the storage bus is gonna allow us to look into those inventories. Now, I am going to actually, so what we're gonna do this particular set first, just to make sure that things are all working in good order. But we're gonna go ahead, put these storage buses like so. Now, each of these storage buses will require a channel. I like how I'm talking as if I know what I'm doing. It's so great. It feels great, man. This is what it must feel like to know what you're talking about, at least a little bit. I mean, I don't, but I'm just gonna pretend that I do. So here we go. Look at me, wow. Such wisdom, much brain. Okay, and we got ourselves some of these guys. And you can see here, we've actually accrued a fair bit of items. And this is the reason why we don't want to put this into our actual ME system, right? Because it's going to be a lot of just stuff flowing into a set of drives. And then if it starts getting all funky in there and they start occupying random slots and I'm doing all kinds of shenanigans with them, it's just going to get really messy. So I wanted to have them all pouring into one spot, and then if I pull them again, then sure, they can interact, but otherwise I'd prefer if they just kind of did not do anything. All right, so now with that underway, I'm going to go ahead and put these cables down. Then we're going to do this here. Okay. Awesome. And put these like so. And then voila. And you can see here it's saying 4 of 8, 4 of 8. Yeah, because there's 4 total. I had to think about that for a moment. I was like, I don't know. I can't do math. Kappa. All right. So there we go. Now you can see on here, we got ourselves 8 of 32 taken up. So if I just keep on going on, it should lead to a grand total of 32. Of course, the 32 won't show up all the way through the cord because it just looks at whatever is currently on there. So if like for at this point, right, everything at this point forward is also included. So because that information all the way down there has nowhere else to go, so it's going to keep on going and keep on accruing. And then same thing. But if you go like, if I were to look at the channels down here, at this point only these 4 are using up this particular area, so, or that particular set of channels. It's kind of a little fun little doodad, little factoid. Let's see here. So I should be looking at 16. Yep, looks good. And then actually I guess I don't need these. Eventually I will need to do this other thing with it, but for now we don't have to worry about that. All right, so we have all that going. I'm going to actually take a hot second here to set up a drive system just to make sure that this is working. This is something, again, I'm speaking more of like I've looked into this. I'm not like an LOL super expert on it, but hopefully, if I've done it correctly, it should work out to be pretty darn good. I don't need these storage drives 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, but I am going to take them in here just in case I decide like we currently have, let's say I want to put in a, what is it, a chicken halter? No, that's cow halter. I forgot what the other one's called. But if I ever were to want a specific thing for, I guess I'm just going to put them here, I guess. But if I ever wanted to have like items that are associated with chickens, but I don't necessarily want to put them, I don't want to put them like over in my main area. I want to leave them where the chickens are. I can go ahead and just store them here. That's the only reason why I'm going to be doing this. Let's see here. So, yeah, that'll be a nice little 32. And this is, so I'm going to do this, and I don't know how this will go over. I feel like it'll be okay, but I'm not 100% sure. So my hope right now is I'm going to take, this particular area. This is going to have so we have currently 16 from here, but this is going to hit 32 at this point, right? Which means that I can't also add this on. I want to see if this is a really cheesy way for me to just add something, just tack something on really simply, really quickly. I don't know how this will work. I hope it works well. It's a lot better than hoping it works poorly. Dilemmas. All right. So let's see. I'm going to want energy acceptor. I'll just pull out a bunch. I don't need this many, but we'll just pull out a bunch just in case. tell you what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put this flux point down. These guys are actually, I'm surprised. I didn't think that I would like keep on using them after a certain point, but they really have been like holding their own. They've been doing pretty well actually. All right, so I am now gonna take energy cells. Just kidding, I don't have energy cells, question mark. Oh wait, energy cells were weird, weren't they? They like, I had to make the energy cells themselves, didn't I? Yeah, this was like kind of a wacky thing. I didn't like it whenever I tried to do it any other way. Can I make an energy cell like easy peasy lemon squeezy? Apparently that's a super nope. What? Oh man, I guess I have this, so I can just do that. I'm just surprised that I didn't have the ability just to make it outright. That was kind of weird. Alrighty. That's probably using this one. Yeah, there it goes. It did it again. I'm not quite sure why it hangs like this. Something happens here at this part that I think completely messes with everything else. But I'm not really sure what it is about it that's causing so many issues. Because it has the energy cells, it has all the stuff, it just for whatever reason can't seem to make the dense energy cells. I don't know. So I think if I do it now... Wait, is it? What? Why is it making new... What is happening? Oh, wait, I think it's getting confused because I think it's saying that we don't actually have the energy cells. I think it's losing them or something. I don't... If I cancel this, do I have 32 of these energy cells? I sure do. Yeah, there's... Okay. Something screwy is going on with this. Well, we just solved one of our mysteries. Not really a mystery I particularly wanted to solve, but... solved it nonetheless. Let's see here. So, yeah, our dense energy cells. Yeah, I guess it just doesn't like crafting these. Wow, 82 cannot craft its own thing? That seems a little odd, a little dubious. Alright, so, with that underway, there we go. Put little energy doodad there. Put dense energy cell doodad here. I don't particularly think this is necessary, but might be kind of a good call sort of thing. Alright, then I'll put the controller actually right here. I don't actually want to put it over there. Alright. I guess I'll slap on another energy cell here, just for good measure, just to make sure that things are all good to go. All right, so let's see if this will work the way I think it will, / the way I hope it will. I want to get interfaces, and then I want to change them into little baby interfaces. And then I would like for this to just hang out here like so. And then we're gonna go ahead. Oh, actually. I wonder if I'm gonna have to P2P this. Interesting conundrum. No, I suppose there is one really cheap way to do this, which may look better. Whoops. Well, ripperoni controller. I suppose what I can do. We can just tunnel our way through. Deeper. Yeah. Alright, so we'll go one more. Yeah. And then we'll just kind of ferret our way through with this. There's also a fairly decent chance actually that I'll need to, well, not necessarily need to do this, but I'll want to do this anyway. Alright, so actually, while I have this here, I suppose I can put down a mega torch just for extra security that nothing strange will spawn in this area ever, because if anything ever were to spawn, man, would that be bad times. That would be some seriously, seriously bad times. Alright, so I guess this would be $9.94. So put a mega torch down there. It doesn't really matter the light, if the light goes anywhere or not. It doesn't really make a difference here. All right, so controller down. That'll light up, and then I should just be able to take. Well, we'll run a. Yeah, we'll run a dense cable here. I don't think we'll ever need it to be a dense cable, but just in case, it's better that we accommodate for it now than later. Because in the off chance I have to do this again, I don't want to make more work for myself in the future. Basically, I'm helping out future Choco. All right, future Choco appreciates this kind of stuff. I don't typically worry about future Choco, but when I do, I'm sure he appreciates it. How did I even manage to do what? Back myself into a corner. All right. And then just put the cable. Whoop. Too far. Okay, so just put the cable down here. And that should interact with everything else. What? Why did the power die? Oh, that's right, because there's going to be a... Right, there's a controller down here. I forgot. Alright, so... we have... Actually, I guess this means that the controller doesn't need to exist here. So I can actually rip out the controller. Wait, do I even have a controller here? Maybe I don't. Well, in that case... Can I just rip all this out and then just do a fancy little... There we go. Alright. So that's all hooked up now. That has its own like set of channels here. Alright, there's two channels, one for the drive and one for the terminal. Okay. So there that is, all looking gourd, living its happy life, doing its own happy little thing. Then we can actually fill this all up, which will be probably better for us in the long run. I want my apples back. Okay, and apples. Alright, cool. So now... Actually, I should see them. Yep, there you are. So you can see here now, everything that's on a storage bus is now hooked up. If I did my job right, we should be seeing a total of 16 different entries. At least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 7, which makes for 16. Perfect. Awesome. And I can also see what the levels are. It seems like everything is more or less running with expectation. Got a couple of them that have like a little bit of some variability, but that's fine. All right, cool. So now I just have to go ahead and set this up for the rest of this, and then we should have an AE2 system. So what we're setting up right now, right, is we should have an AE2 system that is going to allow us to go ahead and interact with our chickens in a semi-intelligent sort of way. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and time lapse this part because this is gonna just kind of be me doing a whole heck of a lot of this, and then should be all good to go. I'm trying to think here if, because this, I guess this is one thing I should probably mention now. The okay, so right here, so these cables are reaching for those two. Actually, I guess I don't need to do these. I don't know why I did that. Actually, this wouldn't take that long. Here, hold on. I don't know why I did it this way. I stopped thinking for a moment. I just went into cruise control. All right, so this one will encounter these sides, right? And then this one was going to take up these two sides. And then we have a problem of this one, right? This one turns into like this kind of weird thing. I think because of the fact that we're looking for some degree of symmetry here, I'm going to end up having this double down on the middle one. I know that's not, again, efficiency-wise, completely unnecessary, but I think we're going to do that just because it's going to let me be consistent and kind of maintain symmetry in this area. But I just wanted to acknowledge that, yes, I am aware that that's not going to make any version of sense, but it lets me stay symmetrical. It doesn't hurt anything. As far as I'm aware, it doesn't hurt anything, so should be all fine. But we're going to put down all of our dense cable here. And then we're going to go ahead and do, yeah, because we're going to have to do this one here. This is also dense. This is not dense. I don't like the autofill trolls me from time to time. I trust the autofill to make the right decisions, and then sometimes it decides, I can do whatever I please. Alright, so rip those down, and then get these going. Okay. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we're going to time lapse this part because we are going to have to, I have to attach all the storage buses and stuff. So this will just be a little bit of kind of me setting things up. So we'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and we put down all the cables, right? So we did the same thing over and over again. So we have our cables reaching up from the dense cable, and then we make this kind of T-shape to link up everything else. And all of them are online because this has 32 channels, which makes sense, right? Because you're gonna have 8 here, 8 here, 8 here, 8 here. So each plate's 8. There's 4 of them total, so 32 makes sense. Here we're gonna have 16. That's because we're gonna have 4, 4, 4, and 4, which is 16. Or sorry, 4. Wait, hold on. Okay, 16 this way because there's gonna be 8, 16, right? And then 16 this way, 8, 16. And then this is gonna have 8 because even though it's connected here, it's already established a pathway that way. So this is only gonna have 8 channels from the 8 that are on this plate, 8 on this plate as well. And that's gonna be 32 in the same way that that was 32 down there. Then we have this one running above our heads, and this one's gonna stop at 7. So it should be what we got going on. Now, if I'm correct, I forget the number. I think it's like 100 and... It's not gonna be on the chat anymore. I forget how many it was. I wanna say it's like 115. Well, I guess I could just add up the numbers. Let's see here. So we have 64, 72, 88. That's wrong. Hold on. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 56, 112. 119. So there should be 119 unique entries in here. That doesn't look like 119 unique entries. 3, 6, 9. So there is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 13 and then 1. So 13 times 9 is equal to 117, 118? 108? Wait, huh? How did I swing that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. What? 13 times 9 is 117. Is it 119? Wait, what did I say earlier? How many chickens did I say that? There's 8 per plate. 8 times 7 is 56. Times 2 is 112. And then 119. Oh, yeah, it's 119. Wait, then I'm missing one. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We have one renegade. So that's 118 in our ME system. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we have 4, 5, 6, 7. So this should be 119 total. We have one. We have one that's not behaving. Oh no. Oh no. This is the stuff of nightmares. We should have everything. Oh no 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 no. I do not want. 32, 64, 80, 112, 119. All the channels are represented. Oh no. Oh no. What? What am I missing? This is the actual stuff of nightmares. This is the actual... Oh, God. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. What happened? What is broken where? Oh, no. I have to figure out why. all the channels are on. That's what I don't understand. All the channels are online, so all the storage buses are working. Do I have one that's just not collecting anything? Because that's possible. Maybe that's one of them I like skipped turning on a set of them or something. Something weird. Wondering if like one of the middle ones I just never turned on properly. No, those are all working. Oh no. This is not what we need. Not what we need for the last step. We're on the home stretch. Come on, man. Don't do this to me. Oh no. I don't want to go down a checklist. Please, please tell me I did my math wrong. Please tell me there's something. Oh God in heaven, please no. Oh no. I'm so confused. Oh, here I am looking through my storage drives. Yeah, I wonder how many I've taken of my storage drive. Maybe I can add them up again. No, that's not the way that works. Oh, golly. This is looking pretty bad, fam. I'm not gonna lie. This is looking pretty bad. Okay. Let's just take a quick little look. I'm just gonna spot check everything. See any that look wrong. Chat, if you see something, speak up for this, by the way. Don't be shy. You tell me straight away if you see something goofy here, all right? This is not what I wanted. Third to the last on the right at the back. These look good. Oh no. Troubleshooting is not what we want. Ugh. It's literally just one. It's one. I mean, I guess it's better than two. But like, man. Wait, wasn't there one that like I hit a button on or something funny maybe? I don't know. Like this one's meant to be empty. This one should only have two. The thing that's throwing me off is that the channels are set, right? So like the channels should represent the storage buses that are online. So they're all connected properly. Actually have to do like a complete roll call of everything. What the heck is alchemical brass? What? Oh, it's just brass. I don't suppose this is in the order. Not even close. This is an alphabetical order. Yeah, this is orders it by. No. Maybe the ones for the sake of symmetry are messing it up. Wait! That gives me an idea. Hold on. I can simplify our lives maybe a little bit. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna disable random chunks of them, and they should go down by whatever amount it is, right? So if I break this one, I should see 32 of them vanish off the face of the earth. So currently, again, there are 9 per row, right? And then there's currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 rows times 9, which is 100. Yeah, 100. Wait. 13. Yeah, 13 times 9, which is 127. And then we have. Wait, that's not right. 13 times 9. Wait, what? 118. Oh, there's 119 chickens. Okay, so we're currently sitting at 118 out of 119, right? So I'm going to take out 32 of these. So we're just going to power that down. That disconnects this part of the storage system. And I should be able to look at my ME storage, and it should tell me that there is now 32 less, which would take us down to 86, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's just call it 9. So 9 times 9 is 81, and then we have 87 here total, right? So 87. That doesn't add up, right? Because that's, wait, is that right? That's 31, right? I'm not crazy, right? 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 Right, guys? Right? Okay. So, if I reinstate that. Oh, yeah, it's 117, my bad. You are absolutely correct. I don't know why I moved it up to, wait. Weren't there? Are we missing 2 then? No, we're missing 1, right? Because 100. Yeah, no, I'm right. 117, 100, yeah, 118, 109. Yeah, that's right. I was correct. Okay. God, that scared me. All right, so we just ripped out that side, and in a similar way, we have probably 81, 86, right? Wait, 86. There's 86 in this one, and 86 takes us down. 86. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 81, 86. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so that doesn't make sense. I'm sitting here going, but no, that means that 32 got taken out. So it's not, this side, this section is totally A-okay. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that it's something to do in this earlier area. So we screwed up something in here. That narrows it down a little bit. All right, so it's something to do with the first section. Now I'm going to rip this out. I expect it to go down by 16. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 99 plus 4 would bring us to 103. Which is 15. So it probably is that right side then. I'm going to then look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 99, and then 3. 2? Yeah, that makes sense. Because we want, the more it takes out, the better we go. Okay, so it's on the right side now. Okay, we're almost there. Now I just gotta figure out which one of these butts are not working. So I just need to check it against these clusters here. The connections are all good. The devices are all online. Here, let's just actually look through all these. So Iridium, I don't know what you are. Iridium, Night Slime, Magical, Draconium. Let's make sure. Iridium, Draconium, Night, Magical. So those 4 are good. Elementium, Awakened, Diamantine, Cyanite. Awakened, Diamantine, Cyanite. For the last one was. Little Elementium that I missed? Yeah. Oh wait, no. Yeah, it was Elementium. Rip. Elementium. Yep, that's there as well. Okay, so now we got Terrasteel, Plutonium, Blizzrod, and Uranium. There's Terrasteel, Uranium. I already forgot what the other ones were. Lol. Plutonium and Blizzrod. Plutonium and Blizzrods. So those are in here. One of you guys, really? Redstone Crystal, Manulin, Vibrant, Solid Experience. There's Solid Experience. I already forgot. Oh, Crystal was one of them. Manulin was the other one. So, Crystal. Resonating Redstone Crystal. Manulin. Vibrant Alloy? Well, that's the last one. Am I crazy? We just checked all of them, right? We literally hand checked every single one. What? Wait, I missed Yellorium somehow? I know what's going on here. Yellorium turns into uranium. We have double dipping chickens. That's what's going on. Okay, I remember now. Yellorium pumps out uranium. That's what it is. I looked at the actual output and I was like, yeah, we have uranium coming in here. Okay. I guess there was no point of Yellorium chicken. Okay, whatever, don't matter. All right, so we do have everything there. So unique outputs, even though this is really confusing, we have 118 instead of 119. Wow, that was bleh. That was awful. that was something else, that's for sure. All right, so let's go ahead and start covering this up and making this all look normal again. I'll take all these cables and chuck them away. I wish I could make you into things. No good, dirty, rotten. All right, so stone. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put stone here. I will put stone facades down eventually. So if you were wondering what I'm gonna be doing about the cables, it actually kind of looks cool to have the cables just out like this. Kind of does make it look like techie and stuff, you know? I don't know, I think it looks kind of neat. We might keep it like that, actually. It does kind of look sort of neat. Oh, man. All right, so these are now all done. But of course, that's not all there is to this, right? Because we obviously have other things that we have to worry about, namely Okay, so you got this squared Choco, but how are you going to manage to get this to interact with your main system? Like, how are you going to connect that? You're just going to run like a giant LOL cable all the way across? Because, buddy, that means you would have to like run it through this bridge or something and just run it all the way through. No. I'm actually going to jump the gun a little bit, and no, I shouldn't jump the gun a little bit. Ugh. I want to jump the gun. I really want, here, this shouldn't take too long. I am entering something I don't really, again, know a whole lot about, but this should be a little bit more straightforward than it was previously. So, all right. So the storage systems and everything are all set up there. Now, in a similar way, we're gonna have to get some more storage systems set up. This, however, is gonna deal with liquids. And that is gonna be a different set of items and things that we need. So I am actually gonna need to make some stuff here for that. So when it comes to fluid, we have some stuff in the ME, or Applied Energistics mod, that we're gonna have to do instead. So I'm gonna need to go ahead and make a fluid storage bus, which is gonna require a fluid interface, which I have absolutely zero clue as to how to make. Blurp. All right, so I guess we'll start off with fluid interface. So this will be like an ME interface for us, right? We need a formation and annihilation core. Can you just make me a bunch? Thanks. And then what else am I? Annihilation. I was gonna ask it to make a whole lot of them for me. No. All right, so while that's running and doing its thing, we're gonna need the ME fluid interface. We have the other, like we have lapis and stuff over there, so I don't have to worry about that part. This will allow us, I think, I'm not 100% sure that this is how it's gonna work, but I think this will allow us to basically interact with the fluids the same way we work with items, so should be good. And then we will, in addition to that, be needing some of these fluid cells, right? So I'm going to need to go ahead and make fluid cells. I'd like to make the highest tier 1 at least once. Now this is going to require me to make something that we haven't really messed with before, in that we have to make the preceding fluid storage components. So to that end, I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make the patterns for them, just so I don't have to manually do them. It's literally all there is to it. So let me see here. I think it's like if I look up fluid component, yeah. So we're gonna need to make, I'm gonna need to make 1K ME fluid component. I'm also gonna need blank patterns, which we, for whatever reason, don't seem to have a whole lot of. I can remedy that problem. I can do the Englishes, I promises. All right, so, nope, that just went directly into here. All right, so 1K ME fluid. Very good. That's going to lead into the 4K ME fluid. Nice. Which is going to lead into 16, 64, 256, 1024, and 4096. And again, the reason why we do this is so I can just ask it to make me these fluid drives, so I don't have to actually sit there and like attend to it, which makes life a little bit on the easier side for me. Let's see here. I would like to put in 60 of you while I get this going. All right, and then to that end, I think they're in here right now, actually. Are you in here? Yeah, you are. All right, so we're gonna pull these regular storage components out. I'm going to put these fluid ones in. All right, so then if I were to ask this thing, hey buddy, could you make me one of your 4096s, I should be able to ask it to do it. It will hopefully tell me that that's fine. I am missing a whole buttload of lapis. That's okay. I could do a number of things. I think I'm actually going to EMC the 4096. I know that seems like really stupid because I have a giant barrel of lapis over there, but we're going to just do this for making... I have no idea how to make lapis apparently. But yeah, we're just going to EMC the whole thing. Okay, so lapis Just pull some from there. Whoop, that's lag. All right. And then grab some lapis lazuli. We'll bring them over here. And then how many did it say I needed? I'm missing 3,412. Okay. So lapis. Pull a whole bunch. Lapis. Pull a whole bunch. One more time. Lapis. I wonder what this says. Like, I wonder what this actually does. Not entirely sure if I know or if I want to know. Beats me. I have no idea. Alright, so this brings us to some weird number of lapis. I need 532. Alrighty, so that should cover us. Then we're gonna have some extra, which is totally fine. I'll just pull out the lapis after I'm done. So if I ask this to do this now, perfect. Let that run. We only have to do this once because I can EMC it after that point, right? So I just have to make it one time and then we're all good with the fluid drive creation. Now with the annihilation and formation cores, we have ourselves some other stuff that we got to get going and get doing, which is I need to make sure that with the storage or with the fluid things, we have the fluid buses and stuff. So I suppose what we'll do is we'll take the cores out for now. Let that run and do its thing because we're not urgently needing the fluid drives or anything like that. Put these cores into here and then let's get some fluid interfaces and stuff going if I can. Alright, so fluid interface, I would like to make one of you. And then from a fluid interface, I would also like to make a fluid bus. And it should be a simple matter of just this. Oh, rip. I just took my fluid interface and then I just kind of ate it. Alright. Actually, I will take that because that will also work. So if I have to look up the word fluid, I can take a bunch of you, take a bunch of you, and then I can convert you into these like nice fancy flat ones. All right, cool. And then now I have fluid interfaces that are flat somewhere. There you are. All right, so storage buses, fluids, and I think, unless I really missed something, they'll go over fine with everything else just the way it is. In terms of like the energy stuff obviously doesn't change. The controller stuff doesn't change. The cabling doesn't change. It should be fine to run as is. I don't know why that wouldn't be the case. Alright. Blurp. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna see where our storage thing is at. It sounds like this thing's hard at work. Oh yeah, okay, that's like super hard at work. I'm not gonna bother it then. Because that means we have a long ways to go before we get the fluid drives up, which is fine. That's not a big problem. All right, so now we got these bad boys, right? So storage buses should be as simple as doing this, and there's gonna be, this should be a much easier time in general. Because I don't have to like, whoops. One is not like the others. Can you spot the difference? I do like those spot the difference games. Okay. Alright. Look at the little hats, don't they? Look, they're wearing like little tiny hats on top of these things. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty pleased with it. significantly less cows than there are chickens as well, which is another huge blessing. Although, you know, I'm sure there will be some people out there that would argue that's a bad thing, because that means there's less resources that are covered by fluid cows. But then again, I have no idea who in their right mind is cheering for fluid cows to be the main way of getting anything, because this is not exactly the nicest system to put it nicely. This would not be my number one first choice, shall we say. All right, so storage buses, they're all good to go. All right, and okay, so the chickens are square until I make the way for me to connect them and bridge them. Sounds quiet. I don't have it yet, do I? Yeah, no, it's gonna take a minute. Okay. All right, so now we'll put down the cabling. This should be also fairly straightforward. We'll do the dense cables first. Just grab a bunch just so I don't have to worry about constantly grabbing more or whatever. So again, we have 12 on the side ones, right? So 6, 3, 3. So 12 there. And then we have 18 on these ones. So 6, 6, 3, 3 on these two middle ones. Now, obviously, in terms of how this works out, one regular cable will not do the job. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to run a thick cable on the same line as these ender conduits. And then we're going to individually hook them up with smart cables, the little basic smart cables. Because even for the inside ones, right, because we're talking about 18 obviously is not as big as 32. So that's what counts. Now, I don't think that, so Ender IO obviously did not exactly enjoy our whole making multiple areas to look. I don't think A2 is quite as bad. I don't know why that's true, but I'm assuming it has something to do with the fact that it's just set up in a different way. So my assumption and my guess is that... What? Okay. My assumption, my guess is that this won't cause a lot of lag or anything, so the server impact should be pretty low. Hopefully. I could be wrong. Alright. And then just make one more ring for that over there. There will obviously be one big exception to this whole dense cable shenaniganry, which is the infinity fluid cows. Those guys, there's only 2 of them, so they don't get that kind of luxury. They have to go with a regular old cable, not these dense cables. The cables that don't know that you're flirting with them. I mean, what? Okay. Man, yeah, this whole replacing thing is super sketchy. I can maybe understand why it would pull like a regular cable instead of a thick cable or a dense cable and be like, oh yeah, like it was just because it kind of herp-derped. Like it didn't mean anything by it. It was just kind of derping around. But it's really hard to justify why it screws up a storage bus and a dense cable. That part doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. All right, let's get ourselves some regular old smart cables here. I definitely don't need that many smart cables. That's okay. Actually, you know what I don't know why I didn't think of this, but yeah, we should totally not put the storage buses on the top. We should put them on the side. I don't know why I didn't... I don't know why I didn't think of that. It didn't occur to me. I couldn't tell you why it didn't occur to me, but it just didn't occur to me. Here, we'll dump those. Alright. Let's go recover all these. Sorry, I know. Big face palm, I'm sure, but shouldn't be too lengthy of a situation here. The only one that gets to keep their hat, I guess, is going to be the Infinity Cows as well. Because the Infinity Cows are going to go kind of straight up in the air. Okay. All right, wunderbar. Oh yeah, and that doesn't even... to have, if I can get away with it, I'd prefer to actually not have these here, because that means I could just fly over top of even the storage buses, or not the storage buses, but the actual black hole tanks, which would be kind of a nice little thing. Oh, I swear, I make more work for myself. Okay, and here we are. Almost halfway there, guys. Halfway through rectifying a very, very silly mistake on my part. Thanks for sticking it out with me, guys. Appreciate it. I know I try your patience sometimes. I know sometimes you're sitting there going, one day Choco will learn how to not be a derp. Won't be today, but one day. I have hope. But, oh man, we'll get there. We will get there. Oh, well, we had a derposaurus of one over there, so good thing we came back anyways, because that would have been weird. Okay. You know, it probably would be faster by a little bit if I just did this, and then just on the ground. Yeah, that's a fair bit faster, actually. Let's do it that way from now on. Not that I hope there's a whole lot of these situations coming up for us in the future, but standing on the ground and stuff is pretty handy. Or I could just sit on these cables that I nicely put at exactly the right height. I have to live with this brain, just so you know, just to remind you all. If you ever feel like your brain's letting you down, just remember the Choco brain's around. And this thing is like, it gets nutty up in here. Couldn't be making all this work for myself. Toiling, slaving away. Alright. We have at this point perhaps rectified the mistake. Maybe, possibly, I'm not entirely sure. Okay, and then we're gonna put these on their backs. Oh, actually, I mean, you know what I was doing? I was stalling for time. Yeah, those fluid drives, man. Oh, they're gonna need some time to be made. So that was just some professional stalling tactics. Probably shouldn't have told you they were professional stalling tactics, but you know what? You seem like you are. You know, you seem like you're a cool person. So I'm going to tell you that it was actually just a giant stalling tactic, and totally not me being a bird brain. Absolutely not. It was 100% calculated. I look at the deeper game here. You know, I'm trying to think about how I can make this a journey of twists and turns and much intrigue. You know, gotta make sure there's an element of mystery in this whole thing. I'm gonna need more buses. Okay, there we go. And then we'll just go ahead and slap these down here. And yes, I am aware that these are currently empty, but if I ever need to do targeted, like, fluid generation, this will let me do exactly that. why I'm holding that down. I totally don't need to be holding down crouch. I don't know what you guys use as your crouch button. Mine's control. But man, whenever I just hold crouch in Minecraft for a long time, my pinky hurts. Like, I broke my pinky when I was younger. I broke my pinky twice, actually. And it makes me not feel comfortable with how hard I'm pressing down with that pinky. Because, you know, in my head, for some reason, again, I am the guy who, whenever I play Mario Kart at someone's house, I am the guy who leans on the couch like crazy, thinking that that little bit of help is going to help me. Or like a shooter game, I'm like leaning upwards, like maybe if I just lean my head a little bit, I can see the right angle I need. But yeah. Alright, so that's all squared away now. But yeah, I am definitely one of those folks. Just gets a little bit too into the thing, and I'm like, maybe if I hit the control button a little bit harder, you know, give me a little bit better result, something, I don't know. Something for my hard work, darn it. Alrighty, and then these cables. Now here's a real trick, right? I'm gonna run these cables all through here. And the reason why this is going to be sort of tricky is because I need to get these cables to work off of this controller, right? Ooh. When I place things down here, man, ooh, lag is lag is very much present. It must just be the cows. It must be like between the conduits and the cows. I guess it is a lot of like updating going on, so it makes some degree of sense. Oh no, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Alrighty. Okay, so we have to make this whole thing work with controllers. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to actually take kind of a sneaky method for this. So I'm going to need controller blocks, I suppose, as the first order of business. Alright, controller. Let's go ahead, pop these guys off. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Oof. That is some lag. Then energy acceptor. Flux point. Do the trick for now. So, flux point, select network, NetKweh. Okay, put that up there. Put that, turns on. Beautiful. Okay, so that part is now donezo. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to run, for these guys, I'm going to run the cable. I don't know why I broke that stone block. That did not need to happen. But I'm going to run this cable out this way. Yeah. And then, in a similar way, we're going to take this cable. Run this out. Okay, and that will hold all the channels here just perfectly fine. Now for these guys though, I want to run them directly into the controller because they have more channels than I am comfortable with messing with. Also, the way it lights up should kind of look nice. If not, I can make facades. Not a big deal. All right. So with that, I should start seeing a lot of things come to life. So there's 12 here, which is what we want. 12 here, which is again what we want. And then on these cables, I expect to see 18 down, another 18 down. Perfect. So they're working exactly the way that we would hope. I could put facades so it looks like stone is there again, but I don't know. I don't think anyone's really that concerned about that part right now. So let's get some stone up in here. I'm just gonna fill in that random little hole I made because I will not remember I made that hole, and we will forever forget about it. And then it's gonna come out in like a YouTube comment or chat or something and be like, "Hey Joker, remember that one thing that you botched?" And I'll be like, "What do you mean? What are you talking about?" Actually, I will run a thick cable, a dense cable this way. So the dense cables are here. Then I will run that up like a majestic phoenix. All right, cool. And then we need to get some regular old cables. Man, I have really been underestimating what this would take in terms of time. This is actually like pretty time consuming. I know a lot of you guys are like rolling your eyes, probably like, yeah, of course, Choco, it's gonna take a while, but for me, we've never really messed with this level of like working with AE2 or refined storage or anything. So this to me is new, and it is a scary kind of new. It is like spooky town new, because this stuff, when you first get into it, it's pretty intimidating. And like, even for me, I'm not going to pretend like I'm a master of these things now or anything like that, but it is kind of spooky. And then when you get into it, it's like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense, that kind of thing. Which is kind of nice. All right, so we have all those cables running every which way. Now we're gonna, oh, rip me. I need more dense cables. That's not what I wanted. I want to reach you. Dense. Aha! All right, so we're gonna take the dense cable, we're gonna run that forward. Right, and then voila, we have ourselves a very good thingamablubber. And this should just be as simple as just throwing that up there. So with this, what I'm hoping to have happen, actually, I suppose the way I should be doing this is something more like maybe that. No, I probably want to. Something like this. Does a dense cable go into a drive? I don't remember. We'll have to see. I don't think it does. I think I actually have to like properly connect it with a smaller cable. But let me just see real fast. So heavy drives they don't care about fluid destination or anything like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just pop that there. Oh, it does connect. Awesome. All right. In that case, so drive, dense cable. All right, and then I'm going to need to make a fluid interface. Hopefully by this point the drives are ready to go. Hopefully. Yep, there we are. 4096 storage components. Beautiful. And then a fluid terminal. Right, so we do want to make one of these as well. The game is amused by my hopeful look of like, maybe it will let me make it. It's like, no, silly boy, no. Oh, silly lad. You are overly optimistic. So 4096. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, and I'm going to require... Oh, it requires a different kind of housing as well? I was unaware of that. How do I make the housing? Well... What you just witnessed was Choco having his heart crushed. Yeah, I didn't think so. ME terminal. Okay, I can make these. I'm going to learn how to make you. I don't think that will ever really come into play again, but yeah, you never know. All right, fluid terminal, make, yes. And then storage housing. Oh, come on. What do you need? What are you being dumb about? Oh, they require tanks. Oh, wait, or I can just use ME storage housing. Don't I have storage housing, question mark? No? Can I make storage housing? Okay, number one, let's storage housing. Let's just do away with these shenanigans. All right, so make, question mark, and then take this, learn how to make that, storage housing. Take this, then I can just flip it and make it, yeah. What? That was so much easier. This game had me worried for nothing. I was sitting here sweating bullets going, oh man, this thing's gonna have me do like rocket surgery or something crazy. No, it's just gonna be, take your regular old storage housing and then just throw it together. Oh, I tell you, this game, man. This game, it just knows how to mess with your brain. It just knows exactly the right thing to do to make you go, oh, please no, please no, please no. And sometimes it just trolls you. Sometimes it's just like, nope, I'm not gonna do anything with it. It's like, really? Yeah, just gonna leave you alone. And other times it just destroys your life. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, wunderbar. Now, if I did everything correctly-ish, that's looking a whole lot like it's online. I don't remember if I taught myself how to make a fluid terminal. Nope, did not, so kind of glad I did that. All right, fluid terminal. If I'm lucky, this will turn on. Hey! Beautiful! That actually is really kind of cool looking. It's not really legible, but I mean, it's cool. It's certainly not my first choice of how I'd ever want to organize anything, but that's kind of neat. Okay, so this thing says that we have 8,263 buckets of infinity. Let me make sure that that makes some degree of sense. No, it does not. Okay, so that says 836. That's 7 million. So 8.3 or something. 8.3 mil is what we're looking for. I guess that dot is supposed to be a comma. Oh, well, I guess it's measuring, this one's measuring in buckets, not millibuckets. So this one's actually just straight up buckets. Okay, so yeah, that's 8,200,000, whatever, some thousand. So yes, that's perfect. Okay, so that's good. That's working the right way. We now have our ability to look at all these things from their respective interfaces, and it is pretty cool, I'd say. I don't know. I think this is pretty, like, this feels like a pretty nice little accomplishment that we got going on here. This is the kind of stuff that I would expect, like, you know, I expect that people would be like a little bit impressed, you know, it's kind of like, oh yeah, Choco, it's pretty good, man. It's like pretty good. Like, yeah, it's pretty good, man. All right, so we've gotten all that squared away. We're gonna go ahead and do one last thing on this episode, and well, actually, we've been going at it for a while. I'm thinking. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I did want to make this a finale. Because we've been going for a good bit here. Yeah, I think I have to. Okay, guys, I'm super sorry about this, but we're going to stretch this out yet to another part. The main reason being is that I could tack it on here, but I really feel like it makes more sense for me to tackle this particular side of things in the next episode, because we're gonna do something that I've never done before. That's a little bit more theoretically a little bit more involved. It involves making some new stuff that we've never messed with. So we're gonna go ahead and leave this be as it is, but we got them running. They're all AE2'd up and everything's looking great. I guess I could check to make sure that I have everything here. So it's like, there's 18, 36, 48, 60, 62 things total. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 times 5 is 45. So we have 63 things total here. Does this sound right? 45, 63. So we have 63 total. And then we have 24, 60, 62. Why do I have 63? I count 62. Okay, now we have the opposite problem as the other one. Now I have an extra thing that I don't know where it's from. Odd. Oh, wait, no, that makes even less sense. What? I was like, wait, but these are empty. These aren't even producing anything for us. We even have, yeah, these pens over here are still missing things too. Oh, wait, 45, 53. Okay, wait, hold on. I'm dumb. Sorry, ignore me. I'm stupid. I did the maths bad. So we have 45 and then 53 and then 53. So we have 53, not 63. I just kind of auto-filled it 63. I don't know why. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 things that are empty. Yeah, so that brings us to... Yeah, so that'll bring us up to what we would expect, I suppose. 61, and then those two back there. So we expect one thing from that. I expect there was 60 here, right? But then we subtract out the 8 that we have there idle. So it goes 60 minus 8, which brings us to 52. And then we add 1 to that because of the infinity cows. And that should be 53. Which is what we have. Perfect. We did it. All right, so anyways, everything's all hooked up to AE2. The next time we will definitely put the kibosh on it because there's only one last step to integrate this into the main system. Now, as a disclosure about how that will all go down, it's not that once we do it, that's it, right? Like, we'll never ever need to do any manipulation of anything ever again. In particular, this will be true for fluid cows because fluid cows obviously are moving fluid. For some things, that makes perfect sense, right? Some of them you actually just straight up want them to be fluid. But we don't have the, I guess, parts yet to really make the fluids work super duper well. And what I mean by that is, so let's take your, let's say I wanted to make something out of, maybe not molten infinity blocks. Let's choose something. Well, I guess if we want to make like infinity ingots, right? I can't just take the liquid and be like, okay, liquid, Shazam, and then it's like suddenly like an actual ingot of infinity. I actually have to put it through a casting basin or something and make it into a block, and then once it's a block, I can break it down into ingots or whatever, but we don't have those manipulations ready. Those come in time after we make the other setups and such and so forth, because chances are that's what we're gonna have to do anyways. So if you're curious about as to how that would work, that's something that we have to worry about. But that's, again, future Choco problem, not current Choco problem. But anyways, hopefully you all are stoked about this. This was hopefully something that made some degree of sense. The big thing here, again, is even though we didn't actually do this particular part this time, I guess we'll go over it again next time, but this shows you kind of like what you can do to set up like a very basic AE2 thing for your other like networks and stuff, right? just connecting it with cables, getting all this stuff going here with storage buses. Storage buses are really important. They never were taught to me as being something important, but they are incredibly helpful because they will let you look into any other inventory and use them as if they are in your own. The only problem though, bear in mind, is that if you don't have an import bus sending them back into here, spare items will not know to go into this inventory. They will automatically just pull and then stay where it is. So if you want them to feed back into a specific place, so let's say that I made like 50 cakes on my regular inventory because I'm crazy, then the 50 cakes will be pulled to my regular inventory, not into this current inventory. If I wanted to do that, I'd have to add an import bus addition to somewhere. So anyway, that is all of that. Thank you all very much for watching. If you did enjoy, consider leaving a like rating down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Hit the bell button if you would like to get a notification. And yeah, we already talked about what's coming up next. The next time is going to be about connecting this all to that, which is that's going to be an interesting time. And then we are also maybe, depending upon time, I'm not going to overpromise this time because I don't know, because I've been horrifically bad about getting the estimated time right. But I'm going to assume that what's going to end up happening is that we're going to go ahead and have this whole shindig connected, and then maybe we'll start crafting units like after that at some point. I don't know if it'll be in the next episode, but I think that we're getting to the point now where it would make some sense for me to make some crafting computers and stuff like that, because we have gone a fair ways now. I think I do have to start considering how I want to take care of those things as well, because we don't have, like, we have these crafting computers over here, but it's not optimal in any way, shape, or form. So shall have to see. Anyways, take care, everybody. Make sure that you have a wonderful and safe day. And until next time, ciao for now.